Sometimes I wonder if we invented meaning just to make the void bearable. I stand at windows and watch people moving with such certainty, such direction, as if they know why their feet touch the ground, as if they've never looked up at stars and felt their bones turn to water, their minds to static. What does it mean to exist in a world that doesn't need you to, that continues its cold rotations whether you find your purpose or not? The question sits in my mouth like a stone. I've tried on meanings like infinite clothes, religions that promise cosmic significance but left me choking on certainties too neat to be true. Work that was supposed to define me but only consumed me. Relationships where I thought I'd finally be real because I was reflected in another's eyes. Each one eventually reveals itself a paper mache construction, fragile, human-made, beautiful sometimes but never solid enough to stand on. And yet, the absence still feels like hunger. Not the kind that reminds you to eat, but the kind that wakes you at 3 a.m. with its emptiness. The kind that makes you pace rooms looking for something you can't name. The kind that makes you wonder if everyone else received instructions you somehow missed. I watch people build lives around purposes they seem to believe in completely. They speak of calling, of passion, of knowing since childhood what they were meant to do. I listen and nod and wonder what it would feel like to be so certain, to never question whether meaning is just an elaborate defensive mechanism against the indifference of existence. Sometimes I think we're all just sophisticated animals, telling ourselves stories to make the knowledge of death bearable, that consciousness is both gift and curse, allowing us to create meaning while simultaneously seeing through our own creations. The double vision exhausts me. I can hold the cosmic perspective where nothing matters, where we are specks on a speck in infinite space, where all our grandest achievements will eventually be dust, where even our sun will die. And I can hold the human perspective where everything matters intensely, where colour and taste and touch send electricity through nerves, where love breaks you open, where beauty stops your breath, where a child's laughter can make your chest ache with something that feels like purpose. Both are true. Neither feels like enough. I've learned to function in contradiction, to move through days filled with small meanings while carrying the awareness of ultimate meaninglessness, to find moments of aliveness without requiring them to add up to some grand narrative. But the question never leaves. It just changes shape. When I was younger it was, what should I do with my life? Now it's, what's the point of anything I've done? Soon it may be, what was it all for? No answer stays solid for long. They dissolve under the acid of awareness. I used to think that was failure, that if I was better, smarter, more spiritual, more something, I would have figured it all out by now, found the answer that doesn't melt when examined, the purpose that feels true enough even when the mind goes quiet and clear. Now I wonder if the mistake was looking for an answer at all, if meaning isn't something you find, like buried treasure, but something that finds you in glimpses when you stop searching so desperately. The sunset that suddenly breaks through clouds and turns the world gold for 3 minutes. The stranger's unexpected kindness that reminds you of sheer humanity. The moment of flow when you forget yourself entirely and become only the thing you're creating or experiencing. Meaning not as explanation, but as attention fully paid. But even that feels like a construction, a way to make meaninglessness palatable. I circle back to the same place, the mind trying to solve a problem it created, the snake eating its tail. There are days when the absence feels like freedom, when I look around and think, none of this has to matter unless I decide it does. There is no cosmic scorecard, no ultimate judgment, just existence experiencing itself through me for a brief moment of consciousness. Those days, meaning feels like play rather than burden, like creating rather than discovery, like choice rather than obligation, but they don't last. The gravity of the question pulls me back, the hunger returns, the sense that I'm missing something essential that others seem to have found. I watch people martyring themselves for causes, building empires, creating art, raising children, all with a conviction that seems to say this matters absolutely. And I envy them, even as I see the shadow of doubt in quiet moments, the flicker of terror in eyes that have glimpsed the same void that I can't stop staring into. We're all just making it up as we go, all constructing meanings too small for the vastness they're meant to fill, all telling stories to make sense of senselessness. The difference seems to be that some people forget they're telling stories. They believe their meanings are discovered rather than created. They mistake the map for the territory. And maybe that forgetting is a kind of grace, a mercy I've been denied or denied myself. I keep seeing the scaffolding behind everything, the human handprints on every purpose, the desperation underlying our grander systems of meaning making. It's exhausting to constantly see through, to never fully believe. Yet I keep waking up, keep moving through days, keep finding myself caught by beauty or connection or curiosity, as if they mattered. And maybe that's the strangest thing of all, that meaninglessness doesn't prevent meaning, that knowing it's all constructed doesn't stop the moments of feeling utterly alive, utterly present, utterly purposed. What do you do when you've seen through everything but still need something to live for? Do you create meaning anyway? With full awareness of its fragility, its temporariness, its essential absurdity? You choose to care about things that won't last, to love people who will die, to make art that will be forgotten, to fight injustices that are ultimately just rearrangements of dust. You live inside the contradiction without trying to resolve it. Sometimes I think that's the only honest position, to hold both the cosmic and human perspective simultaneously, to know that meaning is made, not found, and to make it anyway. But it's a hard edge to balance on. The mind keeps wanting resolution, keeps looking for the answers that will finally feel like ground beneath feet. There are no answers that don't dissolve under scrutiny, no meanings that survive your own examination, just the ongoing tension between insignificance and significance, between emptiness and fullness, between seeing through everything and still choosing to see beauty. I keep circling the same questions. I keep finding temporary shelters that collapse. Keep getting caught between knowing nothing matters and feeling like everything does. The contradiction itself has become familiar territory. Not home exactly, but somewhere I've learned to live. Maybe that's all any of us gets. Not meaning itself, but the endless reaching towards it. Not answers, but better questions. Not arrival, but movement. The hunger never fully satisfied, but occasionally, briefly, beautifully forgotten in moments of complete presence. I still watch people moving with such certainty and wonder what it would be like. But I'm less sure now that they know something I don't. More likely they're just better at forgetting what I can't stop remembering. They're all making meaning in the face of meaninglessness, all creating purpose where none was given, all choosing what to care about in a universe indifferent to our choices. The absurdity and the dignity of it, the emptiness and the fullness, the void and the endless, stubborn human insistence on filling it with something that matters anyway.